How's it going, Internet Land? Zachamus Prime, aka Zachamus Prime, here with me with the Transformers video review. And today the figure we're reviewing is, I don't remember if he had something special. It is some sort of a Buzzworthy Bumblebee. Bumblebee with Spike. And again, I don't remember if he had some sort of a special name to him or whatnot. I think that the intention behind this figure was to have a Bumblebee that was more like the G1 scale, where he was shown as being a very short guy, as opposed to the regular, like, War for Cybertron Earthrise scale. I don't know exactly. All I know is that he was a Buzzworthy Bumblebee exclusive, which around here means Target exclusive, smaller Bumblebee. So, yeah, in terms of like design and whatnot, he's got he's mostly molded in yellow plastic with black plastic. His face sculpt is a bit wonky. He's got the, like, Jay Leno kind of chin going on, where his face is like 80% chin. Actually, Magic Square did the same thing with their Bumblebee. That's actually reason number one that I never picked one up. But all in all, this is really not like an awful version of the Bumblebee. It really isn't that bad, especially for the size. The price always felt like it was a little high for me. I picked this guy up. I was going through. It's not a thrift store. It's a place called. Well, I don't know. I don't know that I need to explain Ross to anybody. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. They're a surplus store. Crap that doesn't get sold in, your name brand stores gets resold to Ross for dirt cheap prices, and then they mark it down and try and sell it again. So I found this guy for, like, I don't know, $8 or something like that, which is less than the 15 or 16 that he was originally. But I mean, it's not a terribly designed figure. It's just super small and kind of basic. In terms of accessories, he comes with one little weapon here that is sculpted well enough, I suppose. Plugs into his hand with a little peg, and he can hold it. In terms of articulate, this is also technically an accessory, though. This is his own character. He's a guy who... this is possibly the cheapest Transformer I've ever got. To transform this, he has... This is all of his articulation as his arms go up. He's got, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of silver, and some blue paint, or some aqua paint on him. And to transform him up, that's it. Then you stick him down in his face. So, yeah, I think that the only figure I had that was technically easier to transform was the Generations Scout Class. Well, they didn't use Scout Class back then, but it was a Generations, whatever the Legend scale. Optimus Prime came with a roller that had a robot mode, and to transform it from vehicle mode to robot mode, you literally just didn't even move anything. So this one has ever so slightly more involved than that. But yeah, this guy here has got a a hinge on the head for exactly that much transformation and no more. You can also hinge that up and down a little bit if you want to. So I mean, head articulation. Shoulders on a tiny ball joint, which goes all the way around. It comes out for most of a tree pose. You know, you can pretend that he's got a little bit of rotation at that joint, on that ball joint. He does have an elbow that's all on a ball joint, so you can bring it up for about 90 degrees of bend. From this side, it looks like less than 90 degrees of bend, and from this side, it looks like more than 90 degrees of bend. So it's weird. It's an optical illusion just built right into this figure. No waist joint. Hips go forward that much, go backwards that much, go out for the full Van Damme. He does have a cut thigh swivel. Very nice, very nice. 90-degree bend at the elbow. And if you want to use this joint, then he's got some foot articulation that goes, forwards a bit. And I mean, we're being a little generous with this figure, but it's a very cheap Bumblebee. It was always meant to be a very cheap Bumblebee. This is like a smaller than, this is not what I would consider to be a legend scale Bumblebee, but it's it's smaller than what I would consider to be like a deluxe class Bumblebee, and yeah, let's get him transformed up. So to get him transformed, we want to disconnect this backpack here, bring that around, fold out this panel here. And that all fits in like so. We're going to rotate his arms around like that, and then we're going to swing them back. Swing them in on these little hinges here. Basically, we want that wheel to line up with this yellow plastic wing thingamajig. And there's a tab here that's going to fit into a hole peg. And then for the legs, you want to fold this. There's a hinge inside the chest. And then you are going to fold this up at the hips and then bend these ankle joints till everything just kind of comes together right now. Bumblebee. And then this little guy comes in here. And there he is in his alt mode, and he very much has the chibi Q Racer aesthetic to his vehicle mode, which, I mean, his vehicle mode definitely in this mode looks more like, I want to say it would look more like your G1 Cliff Jumper than your G1 Bumblebee, but it does, kind of exude some of the Cyberverse Bumblebee car lines on it. It's sculpted well. It's got this nicely sculpted panel back here with all sorts of details and stuff on it. That's kind of cool. And this figure is, I mean, it's a cheap Bumblebee. It is a cheap Bumblebee, but I wouldn't say that it's a crappy figure at all. It's actually fairly well designed. It's actually fairly well detailed, fairly well posable for the size of it. This guy is definitely cheaper than the Bumblebee is, with the world's simplest transformation. And it's really not that bad. Rolls like a champ. Weapon storage underneath it. A nice little solid alt mode. Everything taps together really well. Everything lines up really well. It's actually not bad at all. It's quite nice, actually. But that's about all I've got for this guy. If you can find him, if you can find him around, because he's an out-of-print figure now, maybe check your local Ross's, I guess. Then, maybe you pick one up. I don't know. I don't even know what role he would play in someone's collection because he's. I mean, I guess he would kind of work for your like chug scale, as I demonstrated. Maybe I don't know. I think it's kind of cute. Anyhow, thanks everybody for watching. You guys are fantastic. Everybody stay awesome and be good to each other. See ya.